What is up, Idle Ninjas? It's Aaron here, bringing you another video in the Newbie series. Today we're going to be talking about stats. Let's go ahead and talk about the stats. So if we open up our stats panel and then we go to My Info, we can see a bunch of different stats. You have your attack and magic attack. These are pretty generic. These actually are the measure of your power and not your battle power. So ignore battle power. That's just for leaderboard rankings, and it doesn't actually measure a true measure of your power. Moving speed basically is how fast your character will move around the screen. We don't really care about that too much, seeing that we pretty much stay stationary the whole entire time. Now, attack speed is actually equivalent to your attacks per second. So right now I do 3.2 attacks per second. So the higher attack speed, the more sherries you're going to throw. But you need to synergize that with your cooldown reduction. So this is actually the reduction of your cooldown for your shuriken so that you can throw it again. So you need to optimize your attack speed and your cooldown reduction so they can go together, and you're not waiting for when your last one goes to throw your first one again. HP is pretty much how much life you have. HP regen is pretty much a useless stat in this game, so you should just ignore it completely. Your mana is basically for your magic attack players and attack players who are using ultimates. MP regen is basically going to regen your mana, so MP regen is good, especially if you're a magic attack player and you burn through your mana because you're casting your shurikens pretty often. Crit chance is the amount of crit that you do, so the higher your crit chance, the more chances you have to do your crit. Crit damage is basically plays on top of your crit chance, so the more crit damage you have, the higher your crit's going to be. So you can actually overcap 100% on your crit chance. Basically, we were told that when your critical chance exceeds 100%, there's a chance of giving twice the damage of the crit damage. For example, when the critical chance is 120%, there is an 80% chance to apply damage by the critical multiplier, and a 20% to apply twice the damage by the critical multiplier. It's basically twice the damage that you have. Defense is going to be your physical damage mitigation. Magic resist is your magic mitigation. Now, immunity is basically it reduces the duration of debuffs by a certain percentage. So right now I have a 14.89% to reduce the debuff. So if we actually pull up a calculator, so if the debuff is 4, right, and then 4 seconds, then we do times 0.1489, so reduce it by almost half a second. Agility is going to be pretty much your dodge chance, chances to avoid getting hit. XP gain is going to be your additional XP you gain per kill. Same with gold gain and item drop. I don't even think item drop does anything. I haven't really noticed anything with it, so I could be wrong. And then the fire, water, wind, electric, and earth stats are pretty much when you get your ultimates. They pretty much just increase the damage that they do. Elemental damage, basically. So if we actually look into our stat tab, let's see, we'll go down to the very bottom. So HP regen, pretty much I maxed them out because I'm a magic attack player, so I use a lot of MP. Immunity is always good. Agility is good. Magic resistance, if you're a new player, you don't really need to focus on this till you get to around magic hacks, and that's when they start doing magic damage, basically. Pretty much, yep. So in order of importance, when you're upgrading your stats as a new player, you want to max your crit percent first, then your critical damage, and then pretty much you want to go into like magic attack or attack depending on your build, followed by HP. You can get defense, and then like I was saying, once you get to about magic hats, you go for magic resistance, agility, and immunity. Take that when you have extra points or you feel that you need it. Usually I take all these around magic hat. Let's see. Shuriken cooldown is always good. You can take that too. And then as far as HP goes, I usually just get HP when I feel like I need more health. But usually damage will carry you for the most part in the game. Probably like really early game, you only need like 5 million HP to take you pretty far. As you get farther in the game, you'll need a little bit more HP. Pretty much the same rules follow your gold stats. Yeah. Alright, so now if we go back and look at this, right? If we actually look at like our attack, you'll see attack, additional attack, and Zen attack. Same with the magic attack. So your magic attack, basically the first one's going to be your flat magic attack, which you get on gold stats. If we look here, yeah, this is your flat magic attack or flat attack. So the flat attack, we refer that to as your base damage. And then your additional magic attack would be your percent. And then Zen magic attack is an additional. So basically to calculate this, it goes magic attack times your percent times your Zen. And that will give you your magic attack value right here. The same rules follow HP basically. It's calculated the same exact way. Alright, so if we actually look at our shurikens, so we can go to our ultimates, right? And if we actually look at our passives and we click on the little fire, it tells us increases all fire element damage by percent of fire element stat, and fire element stat reduces fire elemental damage taken. So pretty much it's the same for fire, water, thunder, I think it's earth and ground or something like that, or wind and ground, of all the elements. And basically this stat basically just boosts our fire damage. So we have the fire ones, we have the water ones, we have the wind ones, the thunder, and ground or earth. Yeah. Let's see. That's pretty much it for stats. There's nothing too major as far as stacks go. Basically, once you get to ultimates, you want to synergize this one, but this is more for endgame. You don't really focus on that much. The main thing for your damage is you want to focus on flat and Zen, and take your additional magic attack when it's necessary, which your percent would be from level points, your flex from gold points. Zen comes from like passive titles once you get further in the game, equipment, and then some packs can actually give you some Zen as well. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the stats. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comments. But don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you're not following, so you can see the next video in the Newbie series. Till the next one. See ya.